o'clock.
5.
Make sure that CCN clip ready. We need it for the second.
4.
That's from the Clarendon correspondent coming through. No.
3.
All the international stories in the folder. Go to
2.
Newsreaders also.
Yeah, man, everything set, everything ready.
To a right point. News Talk 93 FM has got it covered. Across the 7 seas to the 4 corners of the world. It's all captured on the 93 radar. 93.1, 93.3, 93.5, 93.7 and 93.9 on your FM dial. Where News at 5 starts now.
Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, November 10, with the 5 o'clock news here on Newstalk 93 FM. I'm Andre Bernard. Coming up in this newscast, Opposition MP Daryl Vaz walks out of Parliament after House Speaker Michael Peart refuses to censure Dr. Fenton Ferguson as Health Minister. Family affected by dead baby scandal to file lawsuit against hospital. Government MP's Internal and External Affairs Committee says Commissioner of Police Dr. Carl Williams will be questioned in private, and People's National Party encourages comrades to get ready for general election. And now the news in detail. Opposition Member of Parliament Daryl Vaz walked out of the House of Representatives today after House Speaker Michael Peart refused to allow a debate on a censure motion he brought against Dr. Fenton Ferguson as Health Minister. On Friday, the Prime Minister announced that Ferguson was being reassigned to the Labour and Social Security Ministry, and so today Peart ruled that the motion was redundant. He insisted that it would be illogical to have the debate on the motion. Vaz, who represents West Portland, had wanted Ferguson to be fired for dereliction of duty. In pressing for the motion to be debated, Derek Smith, leader of opposition business, said the opposition would not accept the move against a debate, saying there was precedence. He also warned that the opposition would not sit in the House unless the motion is debated, but that did not sway the Speaker of the House. Opposition members remained in the House, but Vaz walked out, saying he was being muzzled. Opposition leader Andrew Holness is defending his Facebook posting of a photo of 2 hospital patients sharing cramped quarters. Holness says he will not be silenced. In a message which accompanied yesterday's post, Holness says the picture, which showed the faces of the patients, highlighted the poor conditions in Jamaica's health facilities. It drew strong condemnation from Minister with Responsibility for Information, Senator Sandria Faulkner, as well as hundreds of users on social media. Faulkner said the posting of the image violated the privacy of the patients and was a vulgar exploitation of the sick. However, in a statement this morning, Holness said the opposition is not surprised by Senator Faulkner's reaction. Holness said the reaction is part of the usual style of the People's National Party administration to mislead, misinform and cover up issues that require national attention. The opposition leader says he will not be silenced because it is his duty to bring serious matters to the attention of the public. Meanwhile, the People's National Party Youth Organization, the PNPYO, says it has written to Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry complaining about what it characterizes as Holness's egregious conduct. And at least one family who lost its child as a result of the recent bacterial outbreak at 2 of the country's major hospitals is considering filing a lawsuit against one of the health facilities. Sheldon Spencer and Daniel Mackenzie said that they have already consulted an attorney on the matter. Their son, Dimitri Penglis Spencer, was born at the University Hospital of the West Indies on June 23 this year. He died at 10:15 a.m. on August 14. Dimitri was the couple's first child. Mackenzie says for the first 3 weeks he got sick every week, and the hospital gave him antibiotics and said he would get better. She said it was not until after the post-mortem that they were told that he had Klebsiella. Klebsiella was one of 2 bacteria identified as being responsible for the deaths of 19 of 42 infected premature babies at the UHWI and Cornwall Regional Hospital. Dimitri's parents said they were not satisfied with Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller's decision to reassign former Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. They say more should be done. Government members of Parliament, Internal and External Affairs Committee have prevailed on opposition members to allow Commissioner of Police Dr. Carl Williams to be questioned in private. Williams was summoned to appear before the committee today to report on efforts to stem the increase in murders across the country. However, before the proceedings could get underway, government member Mikhail Phillips moved a motion for Williams to be heard in camera. Phillips argued that it would not be wise to have the police commissioner discuss strategy and other sensitive matters in the public arena. He was supported by his colleague Arnaldo Brown. However, opposition members objected to the motion, resulting in a lengthy debate on the way forward. A compromise was eventually agreed on, and Williams is to publicly make his statement to the committee, but would be grilled by the members in private. The commissioner and other high-ranking police personnel were summoned by chairman of the committee and opposition spokesman on national security, Derek Smith. Smith had said he was compelled to summon the police team because murders are spiraling out of control. Members of Parliament for the ruling People's National Party, PNP, called on comrades at an all-island rally to get ready for general elections. PNP supporters came out in their thousands in Brownstown, St. Anne to listen to what their political representatives had to say, even as the election draws near. MP for East Central St. Andrew, Dr. Peter Phillips, told party supporters that the PNP has a mission to accomplish, which is to rescue Jamaica.
The elections will be decided by the young people. Comrades, we have a mission to perform. When that time comes and when the trumpet sounds, we have a mission to perform on behalf of Jamaica, on behalf of ourselves, on behalf of our children, on behalf of the generations to come. And what is that mission? The mission is to rescue Jamaica and to continue to build the foundations of our nationhood for a better quality of life for all the people, for more opportunity for all the people of Jamaica.
He also called on members of Parliament to be politically prepared to continue to represent their constituencies.
Members of Parliament, workers and warriors of the let us welcome Comrade Sandra Porter. Brownstown, you look like you're ready. You're ready. Let us take it up. Take it up. Take it up. Take it up. Let the People's National Party. One love Brownstown. One love massive. PNP massive. Stepping on to progress. Comrade, I'm glad to see you. Everyone look ready. You ready? Let's see here. You ready? I don't hear you over there. You ready? You ready over there?
Member of Parliament for East Central St. Andrew, Dr. Peter Phillips. Meanwhile, Northwest St. Anne MP Dr. Dayton Campbell echoed a similar call, telling young people to get on board because the PNP is the party that will take them from poverty to prosperity.
The elections will be decided by the young people. And I'm telling the young people to get involved and get on board, because this movement right here that you're looking at is the movement that is going to take our young people from poverty to prosperity. When some people talk about poverty to prosperity, they're talking about prosperity for themselves. So some have been mentioned, some been plaza, but when we talk about poverty to prosperity, we're talking about prosperity for the people.
Northwest St. Anne MP Dr. Dayton Campbell. And the PNP's chairman for Region 6, Ian Hales, took comrades through a history of the problems Jamaicans had travelling overseas in the past because they could not get visas. He told the gathering that it was the late Michael Manley who caused many people to get visas to travel across the world.
Comrades, under the Jamaica Labour Party government, Nobody in this country was getting visa. Comrade man, nowadays, every man, woman, and child can get visa. I know Ian Yells bring Barack Obama here, you know. It's Comrade Portia Simpson Miller and the People's National Party.
PNP's chairman for Region 6, Ian Hales. Political analyst Kevin O'Brien Chang says Jamaican elections have improved over the years in comparison to previous ones.
I believe that most elections come down to this. Are you better off than you were 4 or 5 or how many years ago? So one of the PNP is to convince Jamaicans, yes, they are better off than December 11 when 2011 when they took over. And the DLP is trying to convince people, no, you're worse off. You know, I believe in the end most elections come back.
He says Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller is not taking the right approach in terms of the people's needs on critical issues, and says Simpson Miller has changed from what she used to be.
Mrs. Simpson Miller, I don't know what it is, but she does not mean the same approach. She seems to have the same approach she used to. The lack of things that she's showing to me is bothering a lot of people. She's not, in her speech she gave the other night, she didn't feel the passionate caring for the people. You didn't feel it. I mean, I didn't feel it. Not the Portia we are used to. I don't know what has happened. Something, in my view, I don't know. I mean, I can only give my impression. Something is not what it used to be. Unless she starts showing people she really cares again, she might have some difficulties. That is my view.
And O'Brien Chang did not spare the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP, saying it too was not impressive because the party is not doing anything different to make people's lives better.
I don't think the JLP has presented an incoherent plan. I mean, apart from they keep talking about the tuition fee, the auxiliary, the one concrete thing I can think the JLP has said we will do different. How different the people's lives be? The JLP gets a mandate, so okay, going to make my life better. I voted out the PNP, there's an assumption, because I felt I was worse off than I was 4 years ago. How are you going to make my life better? And I don't see the JLP having those policies, the things showing people.
Political analyst Kevin O'Brien Chang. He was speaking on First Start this morning with hosts Dr. Aimani Tafari Ama and Sharon Hay Webster. You're listening to news here on Newstalk 93 FM. It is now 14 minutes after 5 o'clock. Governor General Sir Patrick Allen will appoint the country's next political ombudsman to monitor the upcoming general elections. A key government source has said that a candidate has been named for the post and the Governor General is expected to make an appointment shortly. It is believed that Sir Patrick Allen has already consulted with Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller and Opposition Leader Andrew Holness as required by law before he makes an appointment. The current administration had given a commitment that a new political ombudsman would be appointed in time to monitor the political parties while on the campaign trail in the run-up to the next general election. There have been repeated signals that a general election could be held this year. The office of the political ombudsman has been without a head since the resignation of Bishop Harold Blair in 2013. Newly appointed Minister of Labour and Social Security Dr. Fenton Ferguson takes up his position today with the threat of strikes by at least 2 government institutions casting a shadow over his entrance. Our news centre understands that members of staff of the National Housing Trust, the NHT, have decided on taking industrial action. This follows the failure of the management and the NHT Staff Association to agree on payment of an on-call allowance to the workers. The ministry stepped in last night after the workers' decision was revealed and has summoned the management of the NHT and the Staff Association's executives to a meeting at the head office. Meanwhile, Chief Organizing Officer at the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, BITU, Colin Virgo, has written to the ministry stating that the union is unable to restrain the anger of unionized workers at the National Irrigation Commission, NIC. Virgo said that the union has spoken and written repeatedly to both the ministry and the NIC in an effort to bring closure to several outstanding matters, some of which have dragged on over several months or over a year. Education Minister Ronald Thwaite says the government is making significant investment in early childhood education as part of the national development process. He noted that the period between birth and 8 years is the most important in a child's development, and laying a strong foundation at early childhood levels will ensure success in the ensuing years. The minister said the problems faced at primary schools and high schools would not be as great if children had a good early childhood experience. He said his ministry is therefore investing as never before in early childhood education. The education minister was addressing a function at the Clarence Brim Basic School in Trelawney, where the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, handed over 4 upgraded basic schools in South Trelawney to various communities. In hailing the work done, he encouraged parents to play their part in ensuring that their children benefit from the various opportunities which are being provided at the early childhood level. And that's local news. For international news, let's join the BBC.
BBC News with Jonathan Izard. Syrian government forces have ended a 2-year siege by Islamic State militants at a key military air base in the northern province of Aleppo. A BBC correspondent described the retaking of Quays Airport as a significant victory for the Syrian army. The United Nations has warned that it's even less prepared to respond to the violence in Burundi than it was before the Rwandan genocide in 1994. Its human rights representative for Central and West Africa said pro-government forces were responsible for much of the escalating violence, including extrajudicial killings and torture. The United States says it's alarmed by the deteriorating political situation there. Police in Kenya briefly arrested a journalist who wrote about corruption within the country's interior ministry. The detention of John Kirachu, a senior reporter for Kenya's biggest-selling newspaper, drew accusations that the government was trying to stifle freedom of speech. Portugal's minority centre-right government has been toppled just 2 weeks after taking power. A coalition of left-wing parties voted down the administration's economic programme, prompting its collapse. This could pave the way for a new anti-austerity government. The International Olympic Committee has asked for disciplinary action against Russian athletes accused of doping in the latest World Anti-Doping Agency report. The Kremlin has described the report as groundless. President Obama's administration has said it will ask the U.S. Supreme Court to reverse an appeals court decision that blocked measures aimed at shielding millions of illegal immigrants from deportation. The measure is mainly intended to help illegal immigrants whose children are U.S. citizens. The leader of the Colombian rebel group, the FARC, says he ordered the organization in September to stop buying new guns and ammunition in order to show its commitment to scaling down the conflict with the Colombian army, which has been going on since the 1960s. The left-wing group and the Colombian government have been engaged in peace talks for nearly 3 years. BBC News.
Broadcast Jamaican and Newscast 93 FM now hear the news in the Jamaican language.
Good evening. Me name Kadeem Marshall and this are the news in the Jamaican language. The Police Federation supposed to sign one new wage agreement with the government today. Them for sign one other agreement contract for the 2015 to 2017 and it for go on at the Ministry for Finance office at Euro Circle. Under the contract, the police then will get 7% increase on them pay, 4% in the first year and 3% in the next 2 years. The Police Federation are one out of 2 public sector group and never signed the government wage deal. The Jamaica Medical Doctor Association still not signed a deal with the government yet. Police lock up Vincent Coleman, who come from Manchester, for murder his wife, Norma Coleman. 2 police constables get locked up too. Them are Leroy Curtis and Denrick Thomas. Police charge them cause them claims that them helped Vincent Coleman kill his wife. The Director for Public Prosecution ruled that the police must get charged with the 2 men. The police estimated pay for kill Norma Coleman. Norma Coleman, where one businesswoman, get shot and dead when she drive on one road in Manchester on Friday, October 23rd. The Center for Investigation of Sexual Offense and Child Abuse, CISOCA, are looking at something what look like one rape video was made post on Facebook yesterday. Enough people across the 25-year-old man will post the video. In the recording, one man have sex with a woman whenever one do it. The Jamaica Constabulary Force Communication Unit, CCU, said them know about the video and CISOCA are looking at the case. But the CCU said them can't get no more information yet on the case. News from the rest of the Caribbean. Tropical Storm Kate, a mover fast from the Bahamas. According to American National Hurricane Center, the storm will get stronger and could turn into a hurricane tomorrow. From 4 this morning, the storm did 280 miles northeast of the Bahamas and a move 17 miles an hour. The Met Service said Kate and a one threat to Jamaica. News from foreign. More than 100 countries been attacked at one United Nations meeting, and them said them not like the way Australia deal with people, but we want coming to them country come stay. America, Britain and some other countries say Australia must stop turn back the migrant boat them and use some place outside of the country for keep the people them. The Human Rights Council look upon the way every country treat people when they come from there every 4 years. Them said this after one man dead when he been a child guilty from one of the place where Australia government put him. The people in Australia say what them do, stop people from coming to them country by boat and help out the people them who in the country already. My name is Kadeem Marshall and that's the news in the Jamaican language.
Broadcast Jamaican and Newscast 93 FM just get the news in the Jamaican language.
The 5 o'clock Sports Roundup is brought to you by Newstalk 93 FM, life-changing radio.
Good afternoon. With your 5 o'clock Sports Roundup here on Newstalk 93 FM, I am Mikhail Drama Johns and we begin with football. Just over an hour from now, we'll see Jamaica's national men's senior team, the Reggae Boys, begin training for Friday's qualifying encounter against Panama. Set for 7 p.m., the boys will be having the session at the Stadium East. A majority of the team is now in the island, with Joby Mackinoff expected tomorrow. Friday's encounter will be at the office for a 9 p.m. kickoff. It is the opening game in the semi-final round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Coach Winfred Schaefer concedes that it will be difficult, but is resolved his team never gives up. Coach Winfred Schaefer. Meanwhile, a number of the senior players are back to the team for the first time since the CONCACAF Gold Cup final. Schoolboy action today saw Camperdown handing Denham Town a 4-1 defeat in their Isaflow Manning Cup quarter-final encounter. The match was, however, mere academic interest, as today's losers had already secured their spot in the semi-final. Meanwhile, in the other Group I game, Hydel got by Ainswood 4-3. And over in Group K, Charlie Smith fell 4-0 to Excelsior, while Jonathan Grant lost a 2-0 advantage to end up 2-all versus Calabar. And Cavalier SC last night made a late comeback to deny Harbourview 3 points in the fixture to close out the first round of this season's Registrar Premier League RSPL. The then provisional bottom dwellers edged the 6th place Harbourview 2-1. Cavalier therefore went to 9th place on 12 points, leaving Harbourview still 6th on 14. Meanwhile, with the halfway stage of the preliminaries through, MBU coach Timothy Hankinson has quit. According to reports, he is heading back to the American Major League Soccer MLS after just a few months in charge. It is liable that the reins at MBU will now go to Dr. Dean Weatherly, with the team atop the tables on 24 points, a lead of 3 with an unbeaten run of 10 games. More football. Jamaica's national under-17 women will leave the island tomorrow to Puerto Rico to participate in the final round of CFU qualifiers for the under-17 FIFA Women's World Cup. That tournament is to be held in Jordan next September. Jamaica, who topped their group in the first round, are now in Group B along with Puerto Rico, Bermuda and Cuba. Their first match will be versus the hosts this Friday. As for Group A, that consists of Trinidad and Tobago, Dominican Republic, Haiti and Barbados. 3 of the 8 teams will go to the
CONCACAF qualifiers in February in Grenada. And further afield, the Football Association FAS fined West Ham and Chelsea £40,000 and £50,000 respectively. This follows both clubs admitting failing to control players. The punishment follows the Hammers' 2-1 win over the Blues at Upton Park last month. Chelsea had 5 players booked, while midfielder Nemanja Matic and manager Jose Mourinho were sent off. West Ham's players surrounded referee Jonathan Moss after Matic's challenge on Diafra Sakho in the 44th minute. And Gary Bowyer has been axed as championship side Blackburn Rovers manager, with the club 16th in the table. He had 2 spells as caretaker manager while reserve team boss at Yewood Park before being appointed full-time in May of 2013. Assistant boss Terry McPhillips and coaches Craig Short, Tony Grant and John Keeley have also left the club. And now to take a look at cricket, West Indies have reinstated Phil Simmons as head coach of their senior squads after he apologized for criticizing team selection. 52-year-old Simmons was suspended in September for questioning the continued omissions of Dwayne Bravo and Kieran Pollard. He issued a public apology to the West Indies Cricket Board, WICB. And according to 2 former West Indies cricketers, they can't fathom the latest decision by match officials to report spinner Sunil Narine to the International Cricket Council ICC. Narine allegedly has a suspect bowling action. Former off-spinner Rangi Nanan and former opener Phil Wallace say they have been monitoring Narine's bowling and are convinced that there is nothing wrong with his action. Narine will have to undergo testing on his action within 2 weeks, but will be allowed to continue bowling until the results of the tests are known. The Windies meanwhile go into action tomorrow when they face Sri Lanka in their second one-day international ODI. And tomorrow we'll see Ewan Morgan resume his leadership of England's one-day team. They will be playing their first ODI against Pakistan at Abu Dhabi. And finally in athletics, according to the International Olympic Committee IOC, Russian athletes accused of doping should have disciplinary proceedings brought against them. The IOC has requested the IAAF take action after a report into widespread doping was released. The World Anti-Doping Agency WADA has meanwhile suspended the accreditation of the Moscow Anti-Doping Center. This is a key suggestion of a WADA Commission report examining allegations of doping, cover-ups and extortion in Russian athletics. And that's it for the 5 o'clock sports roundup here on Newstalk 93 FM. I am Mikhail Drama Johns saying stay tuned for the business news and weather report.
The 5 o'clock sports roundup was brought to you by Newstalk 93 FM, life-changing sports radio.
At 5:29, business news on the local stock market. The index advanced by 2,019.69 points to close at 137,113.50. The junior market index advanced by 32.86 points to close at 1,597.17. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 42 stocks, of which 28 advanced, 3 declined, and 11 traded firm. Lime was the volume leader. Stocks advancing: Blue Power Group 4,200, Carib Cement, Caribbean Cream, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, Caribbean Producers, Carreras, Consolidated Bakeries Jamaica, Derrimon Trading, Dolphin Cove, Grace Kennedy, Honeybun, Jamaica Broilers, Jamaica Producers, Jamaica Stock Exchange, Kingston Wharves, Lasco Financial Services, Lasco Manufacturing, Lime, Mayberry Investments, NCB, Pan Jamaican Investment Trust, Proven Investments, Pulse Investments, Sagicor, Salada Foods, Scotia Group and Scotia Investments. The 3 stocks declining were Gleaner, Lasco Distributors and Radio Jamaica. And on the foreign exchange market, the US dollar closed at $119.80. The pound at $181.30, the Canadian at $90.40, and the euro at $128.80. And that's business news. We take a look at the weather, where there is a broad trough over the Central Caribbean and Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain in the vicinity of the island as tropical waves pass through the Central Caribbean tomorrow until Friday. In the forecast for tonight, conditions will be partly cloudy. And now to end the news, the main points. Opposition MP Daryl Vaz walks out of Parliament after House Speaker Michael Peart refuses to censure Dr. Fenton Ferguson as Health Minister. Family affected by dead baby scandal to file lawsuit against hospital. Government MP's Internal and External Affairs Committee says Commissioner of Police Dr. Carl Williams will be questioned in private. And the People's National Party encourages comrades to get ready for the next general election. And that's the 5 o'clock news, sports and weather package here on Newstalk 93 FM. I'm Andre Bernard.